Looking back at my SNES collection, I had a few odd ones that I got as gifts. There was no way I'd buy any other game that didn't have the name Mario or Super on it. So seeing some oddities were a breath of fresh air. Sometimes I would hit gold, and sometimes not so much. One of those games that really caught my attention was Spawn, or Todd McFarlane's Spawn the video game to be exact. Just looking at this cover was cool enough. I mean, he looked cool as heck. He's chilling at night, at a graveyard with bats and all, and the most badass cape in all of existence. I was around 12 when I played this game, so I had little to no standards when it comes to games. So from what I remembered, there's a guy named Al Simmons who's an agent for the government, and he gets killed in a mission. He then makes a pact with the devil, Malbogia, to come back to life to see his wife Wanda. Now if only Al had read the fine print when he signed those terms and agreements, because not only did he return to Earth, but ended up years after his death, and not a human being. He became a hellspawn, a servant for the devil. The game itself follows the comic book and has you playing as Spawn in a beat-em-up platformer. In this game, you're tasked to save 13 children who play a key role in the war of hell and heaven. You've got your basic punches, kicks, and special moves akin to Street Fighter, and you can do this cool jump cape attack, and then this dive kick, which always works whenever I'm in a pinch. There's also this magic system at the top of the screen, and whenever you use a magic attack, the bar depletes little by little, and when you do run out, it's game over. That situation never happened to me because I could never know how to do the specials. I really like the aesthetics of the game as it perfectly matched the dark atmosphere of Earth and the demon worlds. Surprisingly, this game got me interested in reading the comics, if I could find it at the library. Not to mention the critically acclaimed TV series on HBO was one of the highlights of the Spawn series. This show was dark and gruesome as heck. People getting killed, bare titties showing, and people swearing left and right. This show actually won an Emmy back in 1999 for Outstanding Animation Program. The series had 18 episodes and ended in somewhat of a cliffhanger as Spawn realizing the prophecy that will lead to Armageddon. And then there was that movie that was not impressive at all. The CG looked like shit. The only redeeming factor was that creepy clown.
Hey, easy with that face of meat. Oops.
This game does have its merits, as it was the first ever Spawn video game adaptation back in 1995. Does it hold up today? Probably not, as Spawn has faded into obscurity, as his presence hasn't been seen ever since. Most people don't know about him unless they're around my age and grew up reading the comics back in the 90s, or that special guest character from Soul Calibur 2 on the Xbox. There were plans of Todd McFarlane to greenlight a new animation series, but has been on hiatus indefinitely. In 2017 at Comic-Con, Todd announced that the film would be in production, which means we'll be waiting a decade for that film to ever be released. I do hope that Spawn gets rebooted sometime soon, and let other people get exposed to a hidden gem of a comic book hero. Many of Todd McFarlane's influence has been seen on other iconic covers such as Spider-Man and Batman. And this Super Nintendo game does hold importance to me, as it introduced to one of comic books' finest superheroes. This has been The Pirate Pan, and thanks for watching.